welcome back to the Broke Foodie. As you can see, today we are making Texas's most iconic delicacy, brisket. How can this be for the Broke Foodie? Well, I got a great price on this brisket and we're gonna make a very simple and easy rub for this. The first thing I gotta do though is trim off some of this fat. Not too much, but you do have to get through to the meat at the bottom. Once I get through to the meat at the bottom, when there's about an inch or a little more than an inch left, then I'm going to score it, and I'll show you how that looks right now. So this is my prepared brisket. I cut off the excess fat, put it in here, and now it's a nice layer of fat cap left on the brisket. And I also scored the meat. If you look in close, you'll see the slashes that I made. You definitely don't want to go too far inside. You don't want to cut the meat, but you do want to get this fat scored. That's going to help our rub to penetrate the fat and get into our meat. Now let's talk about the rub. There are all kinds of recipes in Texas. Some people like to use cherry juice, some people use pickle juice or coffee. No matter what you want, there's always an ingredient that is unanimous, that you need to have, and that's celery salt. And that is why I like this rub. This is just Grill Mates barbecue rub. It's perfect for brisket. It has sugar, salt, celery salt, all kinds of different spices, and it makes the brisket come out tender, flavorful, and delicious. So this is the rub I'm going to use. I'm going to rub it all over the meat, and I'm going to press it inside these little crevices that I made. I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to put the rub on the other side also. That takes a while, so I'm going to do it, and I'll show you how it looks when it's done. And here is the brisket. I used the rub and then I gently pressed it in with my fingers. And now this is going to sit overnight in the fridge. And I will put it to cook tomorrow morning, and I'll show you how I do that. See you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It's time to cook our brisket. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little broth bath for our brisket. It's going to baste our brisket while it's cooking, and I'm using an electric roaster. You can use your oven, obviously. So if I have here a cup of beef broth, and to give it smokiness, obviously you're going to need some liquid smoke. I use about 2 to 3 tablespoons. I'm going to eyeball that. That's a little less than 1/4 of a cup. I have a teaspoon of the rub left over, so I'm going to put it in here. And last of all, I have just a red wine, and I'm going to put in a cup of red wine. If I can open it. Oh wow, okay, there it goes. Okay, so this is the red wine I'm using. So I'm just going to use 1 cup. And that's it, that's the broth. Now all that's left is to, sorry. Ooh, she's a heavy one. All that's left is to place the brisket in the roaster. I have some foil lining it so that the sides won't burn. Now I'm going to cover this with foil, make like a tight little tent, cover it, And I'm going to cook this at 300 degrees for about 5 to 5.5 hours. So there, I'm setting it to 300, and I'll show you how it looks when it's done. It's gonna be great. Bye. It's been 5.5 hours and our brisket has been cooking on 300 degrees, and it's time for the big reveal. Did I mention that it smells delightful in here? So let's lift this up. All right. And take off this foil and let's have a look. There's our brisket. It's beautiful, beautifully done. So at this point, you should use your thermometer at home to make sure it's at the temperature that you like. And then you have to let it rest for 1 hour. So what I'm gonna do after I check it is I'm going to put it on a sheet pan, and I'm just gonna let it rest on the counter. So let me turn this off, unplug this, take out my brisket, and I'll show you how it looks when I slice it up. So here's our family style homemade brisket. It's been resting for an hour, and I'm just gonna slice off just a little piece just to show you what it looks like on the inside. It's a pretty big piece, but that's how we like it. And there it is. Beautiful, tender, delicious brisket. I'm gonna serve this on a plate with mashed potatoes and a roll, and we're really gonna enjoy it. I hope you try this recipe soon. It is so simple and it is really, really good. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.